Yeah.
Hello and welcome to this week's Scarlets Fever podcast with me, Lee G. Joining me as always is Big M and Hugh. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Good.
Martin's just said he's good. He's not good. It feels like shit. But he's putting a smile on for the listeners. See? He's putting a smile on for the listeners and the viewers, and the show must go on. Isn't that right, Mark?
Always. That's the only reason we're here, for the show.
For the show. Cool. Okay. So I just want to give a big shout out to all those people that have been telling me through the week that they can't wait to. Fuck, that was a quick one, wasn't it? I'll do the community. Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to all those people that have been telling me over the weekend that they can't wait for this pod to listen to me spitting feathers about the game from last Friday. So hello, fans for the one podcast. Make sure you share it with some people, and make sure you for the very least, get us some extra viewing figures and all of that kind of stuff.
People are excited for the Scarlets Fever podcast. That's what I'm taking away from this.
It's bizarre that people have genuinely been messaging me going, "Can't wait for this." Like, not Scarlet supporters, opposition supporters.
No, yeah. I got messages before even the final whistle. I got messages saying, "Can't wait for your instant reaction, mate." A thumb.
You got a thumb again.
I didn't make a thumb.
Do that. See what happens when you do that. It only works on yours. No, they haven't got one of them. One of these days we'll work out why that happened. It's definitely an iPhone thing, but it's detecting that you're doing that.
But I didn't do that.
Yeah, you did. You kind of went like that, and it must have detected the fact that you had a thumb there somewhere. Yeah.
I do the thing with the pen in my mouth, and that makes it anyway.
Anyway, yeah. So there's lots of people very keen to listen to us talk about Scarlets, who are not Scarlet supporters, and then there's a whole load of Scarlet supporters who I think are probably sick to the back teeth of talking about Scarlets. But just to say to everyone, so this will be our last one before Christmas and the New Year, and then we'll go into the New Year. So you won't hear from us over Christmas and New Year. We'll preview everything in between now and second week of January, and we'll be back second week of January after the things because we need a break and I'll be away. So yes, and because this is my son's room. This is my recording studio. Is my son's room. He's away at university. They've broken up. He's home. So there's like all sorts of strange stuff around. There's various bits of washing that have appeared. There's my biscuit barrel that I could buy. I'd stack up on biscuits like 1 week, and then it would last me maybe 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Maybe I could, it wasn't. Filled it Saturday because the boys are coming home. Fuck me, it's nearly empty. 2 days, one of them's been home. One of them's been home half a day. I absolutely give up with.
I plan to eat so many biscuits over Christmas that I turn into a biscuit.
Yeah.
The question is what kind of biscuit?
Apparently, somebody else on another podcast does a biscuit pod, a biscuit chat. Like we do drink of the week on Rap, and they do like biscuit of the week or something like that. So that's copying. Don't copy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but we I know we're not copying it. We're just talking about biscuits, but it would seem like we're copying, so we're not going to copy them. So other than biscuits and pretending that your cat actually is alive,
my cat is very much alive.
Every time you send a video, your cat's just sat still watching the rugby.
Cats. I'm not going to sit here and justify the fact that my cat is alive.
I think it's a stuffed cat. I'll send you a photo of my dogs. Yeah, I'll send you a photo. My dogs don't watch the rugby. They don't like the rugby. They don't like anything on the telly, to be honest. Unless they can rip it to shreds and make it squeak, they're not interested. So, yeah, I'll send you a photo of my dogs just to prove that I've got dogs and you've got a cat, but my dogs are real and your cat is one of those stuffed toys that you can buy in a shop.
Oh dear.
Anyway, how's your week been, my friend? Other than the rugby, how's your week been?
Fine. I think it's better than Martin's week has been by the sounds of it.
Yeah, he's having a hell of a time, isn't he?
Yeah.
Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil. Dun, dun, dun.
2021.
The great Redeemer has returned.
Yeah, stolen my wife's phone. Happy days.
Oh.
Yeah. This is my shitty little one, if you can see her. Why is it
Right.
burning?
Is it not on fire yet?
Oh yeah, no, you need a new phone, mate.
Yeah, no, you can see. I don't know if you can see the cracks without the screen on, but you can see the cracks on the back corner and shit. So it's due.
It's due. It's due an upgrade. Right, while you've still got signal and while you've still got battery and while you're not throwing up.
Oh, you haven't gone into that, have you? Oh,
no, we haven't, not yet.
No,
but I just thought I'd throw it there. We said that you probably weren't feeling very well, so yeah, give us the community rundown really quickly while you're here.
The community rundown really quickly. I did just pull it all up, so let me just make sure I've got it before I end up disappearing again. Okay, let's go. Community update for the week. Oh, I don't even know what week it is. Christmas week.
Christmas week.
Christmas.
Yeah, that's the one.
And just load in.
15th. It was the
15th.
Yeah.
No, 16th. 17th was my daughter's birthday, and that was yesterday. So I know it was the 16th who played on.
How could you not remember the day before your daughter's birthday?
Easy. I've got 4 daughters. Do I need to remember all them days?
Oh my lord. 4 daughters. Oh, I struggle with 1. Anyway, you carry on, mate.
I'd love to. I'm just waiting for my page to load.
Okay. Do you want me to say?
I know Llandyfri beat Aberafan 27-10 in a repeat of last week's Premiership Cup hammering. A little bit more respectable this time for Aberafan. And surprisingly, I can't remember the last time I saw a match of this, but the first score of the game was a penalty try. So something pretty harsh must have happened in that one.
I can think of another game where that happened.
Oh, go for it.
Wales versus Tonga 2018. Wales threw on the line. Tonga dragged it down. It was in like the 3rd minute or something.
Right, I mean, no idea about that at all. Cannot remember that far back.
It's not that for me. It's a shock at the minute. On our little spreadsheet, you boys both know I've got about 30 odd pages on there.
Yeah.
Every single one of them will load except for my fixtures and results.
Okay, so Ebervale beat Carmarthen Quins 54-12 as well.
So I don't know for Carmarthen, is it, this year?
Yeah. So game of the week for this weekend is Llandyfri against Carmarthen Quins.
Oh yes, the only game for today.
Yeah. So
yes, I got it.
There we go. Oh, look at the joy on his little face.
On, you got to give me something. Okay, so there are no games outside of professional and semi-professional rugby this weekend, as it's essentially Christmas Eve on Saturday. So we'll go for those. Essentially, but come on, into the word in.
Oh my God, Mark, that's pushing it. Go on, carry on.
Championship West, Newcastle Emlyn had a good 29-7 away win at Ammanford. Now, this is my result for the whole rundown, all the leagues. Brecon 15, undefeated up till this point. Llangennech 26. Of all the teams in Championship West, I thought Llangennech had a good chance this year, but I didn't see outside of Brecon and Narberth. And for Llangennech to come away with this one, just outstanding for the boys. Backing up that huge victory they had over Crymych, and to go away and do this, that's just another level. So well done to them, and it makes this little battle for the Championship West a lot tighter now. It's not just a 2-horse race; it's turned into a 3. So it's always good to see. We have Crymych.
Still only the one that's going to win that, mate. That's still only the one. Go on.
Narberth haven't played Brecon home or away, and there's still another Narva Llangennech match to go. So I'm not discounting them at all. That it's not quite shut and done yet.
Okay, tell me that after you've read out last week's Narberth score. Go on, do the Crymych score.
Okay, Crymych had a comfortable 36-7 win at home to Ystadllefair, and Narberth won 76-7 against Tata Steel Fifths. But they might as well, because I don't know what it is with Tata. They just
we know they're struggling, but they just need to find their league, which is probably 1 or 2 below where they are now. In all honesty, it is.
I think solid squad for a couple of seasons more than anything. That was their main problem last year. Seems to have fixed this season, but who knows? Obviously, again, no games this week, so nothing to talk about. Division 1 West, Aberystwyth 12, Gosainen 28, Barryport 28, Vellinville 10, Llanelli Wanderers 52, Kidwelly 7. Nothing is stopping the Wanderers so far this season, and Kidwelly and no mugs themselves, so that's a massive scoreline. Pencloud 32, Whitland 22. When are Whitland getting another win? Someone help me here. And then Hendy done the double over the little neighbours. Pontedilais 23, Hendy 28. No Aaron Shingler this time, though.
They coped. They coped perfectly well without him, didn't they?
They coped. They definitely coped. One West Central, and I'm very happy with this one. Brynaman 24, Bridgend Athletic 15. Another win for Brynaman. Brilliant to see. And they leapfrogged their opponents now. They've gone up a place in the league. I'm very happy with that one. Into Division 2 West, and Carmarthen Athletic 22, Milford 14, Lampeter 51, Ponteberem 0, Lacha 31, Nancaredig 20, Temby back on the horse 33-17 at home to Mumbles, St Clair's winning 18-0 away to Croix, and the only other game there was, if I can get my screen to move, Fishguard against Army United, which was postponed. We go down into 3 West A. Cardigan beat Neyland 36-10. Aberaeron won 45-0 away to Langam. And in the all Pembroke derby, Pembroke Dockwins 7, Pembroke 12. So Lee, I'm gonna leave this with you now and get your thoughts on that.
Okay, so it's not a Pembroke derby. Pembroke Dock is a town, and Pembroke is another town. And
the Pembroke derby is the name derby.
No, because then it's like 2 teams from Pembroke. It's not. It's just it's the West derby. So
but West Brom versus West Ham is a derby. Everybody knows that. And they're not from the same place.
So I spoke to a couple of people where I was out with friends on Saturday night. So I saw a couple of boys around. Really well attended game. The crowd was quite good. There were 3 or 4 deep in places, which is good. It was everything you expect from a Pembroke Dock derby. It was brutal. There were police called halfway through the first half. No, there were plenty of fights. It was a tough game. It was a hard game, but Pembroke edged it. And what can you say? It's both teams just went at it, hammer and tongs, and absolutely gave everything. And full respect to them for it. Cracking.
Let's go into Division 3 West B. Llandilo lost 6-29 at home to Betus. Furness won 15-7 away to Tregaron, and Cefneithin beat Trimsaran away 32-18. Tumble won 67-0 at home to Binia. And since Hugh, as you know, he's put all his feelings, all his beliefs on the line and said he's a true New Dock star. This is the first time where I can honestly say they haven't won a game since that day, but they didn't lose either. New Dock Stars 35, Llangadog 35. So 70-point thriller. Both sides coming away with 3 points each. Must have been a hell of a game.
Robbed.
That referee was atrocious.
Okay. The only other Division 3 game we got is a Division 3 Cup match, which Llandibby were away to Rimney and lost 53-10, which means the only Division 3 side we now have left in the Cup is Larne, and that is only because they haven't played this game yet. They're due to play on the 6th of January. Up to Division 5 West Central, Penlan, Pennebank was postponed. Pontiac's lost 3-18 to Cumturf, and Pantyvannan lost 19-5 on the road to Taibach. The last few games we've got is down in the youth section. Narberth Youth losing 27-15 away to Abercunnan. St Clair's losing 29-12 away to Cardiff Quins, then both in the Youth Bowl. And the result as such from the youth plate, Carmarthen Athletic were awarded a walkover over St Albans.
St Albans?
Yeah.
Where are they from?
I'm assuming they're Cardiff area.
Yeah, they like to be a bit pretentious up there, don't they? They're a little bit.
They probably had a wedding or something.
Okay. So we're not going to do fixtures now.
There's nothing. No, there's only the one fixture, which is the Llandovery Carmarthen derby. Well, Scarlets derby, we'll call it. It's not exactly local. I mean, there's a good few miles in between them.
Okay, but we're not going to be here next week. You know that, didn't you? Or the week after.
Yeah, I know there is a set of games for the 30th, but I put them all out on socials anyway, so people can.
Yeah.
I always tag the pod in on Twitter. Just go on the Twitter, not the Twitter, on the Twitter page, X page, that's the one.
Yeah.
Go on the X page and you'll see all the links. I do it every week. Nice little preview and then the results on the Sunday.
Yeah. And I have to say, it's gaining in popularity, Mart. So anyone who hasn't done it yet, so Martin tags us in when he does his posts on Friday and then on a Sunday, and then we'll share them. So, and then you can follow Martin and you can see him from there on, because yeah, it's a really good way of keeping in touch with community game and all that kind of stuff. Okie dokie. So what I am going to say, I tried this a while ago and it kind of worked and it kind of didn't. So with community games, lots of community games coming up now over Christmas, and lots of people are going to go and watch community games who probably haven't been to see a community game for a while because of one thing and another. So when we do the game, we'll do a Scarlets game and all that kind of stuff. We do like a 3-word reaction after, don't we? So I thought, why don't we get people who go to local games, that go to community games, to do a video, 30-second reaction or a short video after the game, send it in to us and just give us a bit of a rundown of the game, what the score was, who scored, was it a good game, and your thoughts on the game. So I just want to see if because I like the idea of that. I like the idea of having, real people who are genuinely at the game, show us the crowd, somebody making signals behind his back and all of this kind of stuff. Bit like when Hugh was doing it with Harley and there was a bunch of boys behind. It's a bit of fun. But if you want to do it and you want to send it in to us, we'll stick it on our YouTube channel. We'll make you into a YouTube star and all that kind of stuff. I doubt we will, but we'll have a go. So it'll be a bit of fun.
Will try.
We will try. Yeah, we'll make the effort. Okay. Difficult bit now. Right, let's discuss Black Lion. So
can we discuss the pub first?
let's separate this into. We'll talk about the game briefly. Yeah, and there's no point where the game's gone. The game's what's happened has gone and all that kind of stuff.
The game has gone. Yeah.
The game has officially gone. Can't do anything about it now. Then I think we need to talk about the future and where we go with that. And there's a load of stuff we can talk about with that. So, Hugh, what did you think of Scarlets versus Black Lion?
I thought it's the worst performance I have ever seen the Scarlets put in my life. I thought that the Black Lion, despite being a very, very respectable team that's been extremely successful and has got plenty of players who are easily good enough to play at this level, they weren't particularly special, as evidenced by the fact they had a 40% line-out completion. Fafita was stealing their lineup all for fun, and yet they still made us look like an absolute bag of shit. And do you know what? It wasn't even them who made us look like that. We made ourselves look like that. It was. I used the word unprofessional on Twitter, and it's a big word, but I will justify it. the question that I've been asking this whole season is, what do we work on in training? Because all of those players stepped out onto that pitch. It was very clear they had no idea what they were supposed to have been doing. And even if they had an idea what they'd been asked to do, it was very clear by about 25 minutes in that they had decided it wasn't working and they chucked it in. So I would say that it is whatever, we'll talk about the coaches later, whatever the coaches are doing between games isn't working. But I would also say that on that day in history, the players also shirked their responsibility that they have as professional paid athletes to put in a performance that showed any semblance of organization or professionalism.
Okay, so Hugh's sitting on the fence again. Martin, what did you think of that game?
I honestly, I'm of the same opinion I have to start with. And, you know, I'm not exactly the oldest person in the room. That goes to Lee always, every time, without fail. I haven't mentioned your age in a while. I thought I needed to stick it in there.
Yeah, let's get it in there.
You know, I mean, despite my rugged looks, I am only in my early 30s. And again, I can't remember a game that was that bad. You know, it was just pathetic in a lot of sense. There just seems to be there's no effort in a lot of the players. I mean, even for the first try, I mean, Fafita literally just ran out to that and said, "Oh, there's a space, go in." You know, as if he couldn't be asked to defend anymore. I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, and that's what he was thinking.
Well, the black line fullback had time to see him run out, go, "That was weird," and then go, "Oh, there's a space there," and then just sort of saunter over it and put the ball down almost apologetically, almost like,
was I meant to do
supposed to be a defence stood in front of me. This must be wrong. Like, he's looking at the referee like, is he blowing his whistle or something? Anyway, sorry for interrupting you, Matt.
No, I mean, 100% agree with you, but that's exactly what happened. And like I said, Fafita stole, I think it was 6 lineouts of theirs, you know, so he played in some parts of the game, the individual parts, he was very good at, where he could shine on his own and not be a part of the team. You know, he did look pretty good, but on the whole, I mean, there's so many questions needing to be asked of the players, the coaches, and, you know, we'll go into this a little bit later, but the management of the Scarlets as well. I've got no words. That's just how appalling it's been. I like to think I'm the positive guy. I like to think we're going to win every week, even if the odds are like 1 billion to 1 against us. But I can't find nothing to stay positive about after this week. I can't even say, "Oh, we didn't play last week. It was that bad."
Okay. So Friday night, I had my works due. So I didn't actually see the game on Friday night, but I was watching the updates on like Twitter and on Google and stuff. And it was a bit of a balls up anyway. And they serve everything was served late. There was a big lump of meat, and then halfway you thought, "Oh, okay, that's just that's the main bit." Okay, and you're halfway through eating that, and then they bring out some veg when you're like halfway through, and you're like, "Oh, okay." And then half the veg was cold, and there was red cabbage that was black. And then they about to serve dessert. They're in between main and dessert, and the entertainment starts, and they switched all the lights down. And all through this, I'm getting more and more wound up by Twitter and watching the fucking game updates. And I'm like, I didn't know which to be more annoyed with. The fact that you just switched the lights off so I can't see what fucking tart I'm eating or where it is, and I can't see where the cream is. You probably haven't put the cream on the table to go with my tart, and even if you had, I wouldn't see where it fucking is on the table. I mean, if I could see where it is on the table, I wouldn't be able to pick it up and put it on my tart because I can't see the fucking tart. And that was the best part of the night.
What tart was it?
I don't know. This guy was singing. I swear to you, right? Everything he did was in like a swing. Hey, yeah, let's do a swing style. Hey, Christmas, let's do a slow swing song. Creep
So
by Radiohead. Creep by Radiohead,
What?
the swearing version. And I'm a creep. I'm a winner. What the fuck? So I'm getting wound up by the game. Everyone on the table's getting wound up by what's going on. And then people just started disappearing and going home. And I'm going, oh, hang on, I'm meant to be here till midnight. And everyone's buggering off. So I had to phone the wife. So yeah, to be honest, the game was a bit of a relief for me. Because as we were leaving, the drag act was starting. As we walked out from the main room into the bar, it was a drag act and not even a drag.
Where the fuck was this?
This was in Milford. And I'll be honest,
Wetherspoons is different where you're from.
I tell you, mate, it was a unique experience. But I think, Mark, you were more convincing than the drag act, mate. As you are now. You look more feminine than the drag act would.
So I look more feminine. More feminine. Yeah, I mean, I have got the locks, you know.
I was gonna say, have you got your big girly hairband in? But no.
No, I think it's a little bit too long for the hairband. Oh, the bob was gonna start coming in. It's almost a ponytail. Almost. It's getting there.
Yeah, well, so anyway, then I watched the game back on Saturday.
Oh.
And stone cold sober. Really annoyed at spending 35 quid on a ticket for a lump of meat and a dessert that I couldn't see. Couldn't get Slow Swing Creep out of my head. And and then I watched that. I think I lasted about 15. I'd obviously seen a lot of stuff on social media. And yeah, by about 20 minutes, 25 minutes after this first try, I was just like, yeah, it's going downhill from here. I'd had enough. You could just see.
Did you get to the bit where we had a scrum on their 5 meter? We actually won the scrum, which is a rarity. They passed, I think, Gar passed the ball to, must have been Johan Lloyd. It was either Johan Lloyd or Johnny Williams. He passed it to Steph Evans, who was stood on the touchline, and then Steph Evans got picked up and carried into touch by the 3 Georgian defenders that were all around him. And I got a message from James saying, Steph Evans getting dumped into touch is my spirit animal.
No, I didn't see that bit. But what I did, I think it's frustrating all round. Where you look at the side that we put out, you look at how many international players we've got there. Well, it's not a particularly weak side,
No, it wasn't a weak side.
And all right, Black Lion pushed Gloucester hard the week before. Gloucester, I know Gloucester aren't having a fantastic season, but Gloucester are no mugs. I don't know. It goes back to what we were saying at the start of the season about the effort and the attitude. You have to give us something to support. You have to give us an attitude. You have to give us a style of play. You have to give us something that we can go, do you know what? There was something there. We're trying something. We're trying to turn the ball over. We're trying to move the ball out wide. We're trying something different. It just, don't know. It just looked flat. That's what it looked like to me. Flat, as in nobody cared.
I feel like they gave up. I think they were all looking at each other, going, "Don't fancy this." I thought that 1 or 2 of them were going to try and get themselves sent off because they didn't fancy it. That's what it felt like, And people might think that's an unkind thing to say, but the facial expressions and the body language around the pitch was just horrendous. And yeah, we had I don't even know where to start. I'll tell you what I will say though. We talk about the team that was on the pitch and things. Even if, this is why I say it's unprofessional, even if you don't buy into the coaches and you're sat there Monday to Friday going, and the coach is talking to you and you're thinking, I don't believe in anything this guy is saying to me. in that changing room, we've still got Ken Owens, John Fox. You've still got Gareth Davis, who's been there donkey's years. You've got Johnny McNichol, who's been around a fair while now. You've got Ryan Elias. You've got Johnny Williams. These are all international level players, and they're not kids. So I would expect those players in the senior leadership group at the Scarlets to, they're for feet as an All Black, for God's sake, to have a little, lads, let's go for a coffee break, and they all sit around the coffee table and they go, right, what are we going to do? If they really don't believe in the coach that much, I would expect them to say, we have a responsibility to these fans to go out there and look like we're trying to do something. And obviously that hasn't happened. So that's what really disappoints me, is that there, like you said, Lee, there are players in that team who should be stepping up to put it right. And now we get to listen to the same old, we're going to have an honest review on Monday, and we're going to have some very brutal feedback with ourselves, and then we're going to, work really hard, and we'll have to make it right, and it's like same thing every week. Same thing every week.
It goes beyond them having to step up for the fans as well. I mean, this is their job, their career. This is how they put food on the table for their families. I mean, if you can't put the effort in for essentially 80 minutes a week, because that's all they really have to do it for. They don't have to do it for the full 40 hours a week like the rest of us, normal human beings. They've only got to show up while they're on camera. And if they can't even do that, then there's something fundamentally wrong with the person, not just the coaching staff and everything else.
So let's talk about the other stuff then, because there is a whole load of other stuff to talk about. So the letter has gone in from pre-16, Mark, which kind of was triggered by that game, but it actually went in before the game, and Chris shared it with members after. So let's not forget, we spoke to Rachel from Chris a couple of weeks ago, and she spoke very eloquently about the relationship with the board, and was really trying to big up the board and be supportive. So nobody can turn around and say, Crease 16 isn't supportive of the Scarlets. Some people are doing it the other way around. Why haven't you been doing this the last, however long? And the Crease 16 have got a really delicate line to tread. So talk us through the letter, Matt, for anyone that hasn't seen it. To just talk us through it and what it is.
It's basically, if the first version of the letter went to Simon Mudrak, the executive chair of the Scarlets, that went to him on December the 8th. So, we're talking a good 10 days ago now. This was, well before the Black Lion, fiasco.
Yeah.
It was always the plan to update our members that we've sent out this letter. It was always going to be a redacted, sort of a slimline version of the letter originally. But, after the events of the weekend, it was felt we should probably just go full disclosure, just let them know exactly what we've been saying. And, this isn't something that we've done off the back of the performances this season. Some of these have been issues we've been experiencing over the last 6 months, 12 months, even longer in some cases. And it's just triggered to the point of we've done everything we feel we could necessarily do possible without going public. And it's just gotten to that point. So if we want to go into this letter now, I've actually got it ready. So
that's preparation, that is, man. That's preparation.
Might
well
take
done.
me now.
Most prepared man working in relation to the Scarlets at the moment.
You see my hand all over the screen. That's because I'm trying to work out on my missus' phone and it doesn't want to work for me. Sorry, lads. There we go. So I've got the letter, and there are a few main concerns. I'll run through them quickly. Supporter engagement, stakeholder relationship management, the culture, strategy, and we got squad management, Llanelli RFC, the 150th centenary events, and the marketing. So you've all seen the letter, I'm assuming. I know you have, Lee, 100%.
Yeah.
So is there anything specific you were looking for? Exactly, answers for that.
for me, like, and this is why I wanted to get Crease 16 on, because
Someone of a more official capacity than just someone who's on here every week.
well, yeah, but you take a look at what they've put together, yeah, completely independent of us, yeah, it's not there, and a load of the stuff that is on there is stuff that we have spoken about over the season and last season, supporter engagement, marketing, culture, strategy. What are we doing? Where are we going? Kit. He wants merch, but it all feeds in there. And squad management. Leslie, we did a whole bonus pod on that, Matt, and why that wasn't handled better and what the plan was, and we just didn't believe it at the time, and it was proven right.
We're still waiting for something, to be honest, aren't we?
Yeah. The thing for me in this, so I'm going to have a little bit of a rant now. Okay.
Go for it, as you do.
Sit back. But so the thing for me on this, right? I can't believe you both actually just sat back then. I said sit back. You both actually sat back from the screen. So supporter engagement, right? We are part of the supporters. We're nothing officially to do with any of the supporters groups or anything like that.
We're a feature on the landscape.
Yeah, we're a thing. And when we've been doing this 2 years now, yeah. And one of the first things we did, even before I started the first podcast, I messaged the Scarlets and I said, look, this is what we want to do. We'd love it if we could talk to players, if we could talk to coaches, if we could just be part of the family, if we could, just every now and again have somebody on. How does that? Yeah, great idea, fantastic. Fuck all, nothing. And then you don't hear from anybody for it. And then you get the same thing every time and it's all on us to, can we do this? Can we do that? We've got an idea. Can we do this? And you get the same stuff. Yeah. And this is all going into the marketing team and the social media team and all of this kind of stuff. And we've had nothing. All we've had from the club are conversations to stop criticizing. Yeah. If we don't stop criticizing, then the club isn't going to work with us. Well, they're not fucking working with us anyway. So what are you going to withdraw your cooperation with? Yeah. You've then got the official club photographer having a go at us for sharing one of their photos. Yeah. Nobody claimed that as our photo. We shared one of their photos. Yeah. And if we did get that wrong, then the way to do it is to go, hey guys, I can see you're part of the Scarlets family as well. Just thought to let you know that actually that's not a shareable photo. Yeah, don't know where you've got it from, but it's not a shareable photo. You should have either credited with me or something. Yeah, but to come on and to start giving it all of this about I've told you this before and I've told you that before. Nobody has been on to us before about doing that. Yeah, it just says
he threatened us, didn't he?
Yeah, but and he said I've told you before. No, you haven't, because nobody's told us anything like that before. So this whole bit about supporter engagement, we're the ones that are out there. We've got a couple of hundred people who listen to us every week. Probably, more have done with that. Our Facebook page has a couple of thousand views every week and all of this kind of stuff. Yeah. We're trying to convey the message for the Scarlets. We're doing the job that the marketing team could be doing themselves. Yeah. And we're doing it for free. We're not making any money from this. Yeah. We with everything all together, all of the other pods and all of that, we barely cover the costs. Yeah. Okay. Last month was a good month. We covered the costs last month. Yeah. So for them to say that, to disregard us, to not do anything with us is a complete joke. And this isn't the way professional clubs do it. Yeah. So I started the Ospreys pod, I started the Dragons pod, I started the Cardiff pod. All three clubs, two of those clubs were contacting me to say, can I come on your pod? Loving what you're doing. can we come on your second pod for the Ospreys? We had the Ospreys commercial director on there, and he was asking me, can I come on? How soon can you get me on there? Yeah. We didn't have to go to them. The Ospreys, but I now hands off with them, so I just do the editing and all that kind of stuff because it's an Ospreys pod and I want them to go with it. So they're messaging the club, they're messaging their marketing team, and they're on first name terms with their marketing team straight away. Hey guys, I've listened to the pod. That's fantastic. Yeah, let's get together. Let's have a coffee. Next time you're down for a game, let's meet up. Let's, do you know what I mean? And we're having to absolutely bang that door time after time after time after time, and we're getting nothing. You know, let's not forget, last season, my boy was signed to the Scarlets. I was part of the Scarlets family. I was there. You know, I was in the club. My boy was signed to the Scarlets. So I was on the inside of all of this, and I still couldn't get anything. I still couldn't get anybody from inside the club to come on the pod. I still couldn't get anything. I had to request permission to share the photos of the under-18s game that my son was playing. Yeah, this is not how you do a professional club that you want to grow and expand and engage with people. This is not engaging with people. This is pissing people off. And we're still the best supported club in Wales, but we're pissing people off left, right, and centre because we haven't got the humility as a club to go out there and say, do you know what, we got this wrong and we need to change what we're doing. Let's sit down and have a conversation. Let's get people involved.
We can go one further with all that as well, because you know, I personally, I know you have as well. I had a player ready, willing to come on the pod. I had the date, I had the time, the email was sent to him, it was ready to go. And then the day of, I've been told by management I'm not allowed to do it. Sorry, boys. Yeah. What more do you need? It was literally for what? For a 20-30 minute conversation about the person, not nothing to do with the Scarlets in itself. You know, great being there playing, blah blah blah. But this was to deal with the person, and we made this specifically clear. So you were rooting to rugby, you were times up till now, blah blah blah, and still not allowed to do it. Really sorry.
Yeah,
they didn't even have to do nothing. They all had to do was say yes. That's it. One word.
Like the only coach that we've had on was a Stormers coach.
Yeah.
Like,
I do have to say, we did get the girls under 18s coach on.
Yeah.
But he didn't talk to any management about coming on. He just came on.
Yeah. And
so I just want to add a couple of things for complete transparency. So I've been able to talk to Simon Mudrak a couple of times, and he's been generous with his chats with me separately. And I have interacted with the Scarlets Official Supporters Club, which I know is more affiliated to the club than Crease. So I've had dealings with those guys. But on the other side of that, so I do all my stats and posts and things on Twitter. I do a lot of posts about the Scarlets every week, and it gets a certain response. Anytime that I ever post about either the Dragons, Cardiff, or Ospreys, I get likes from either the club themselves or people affiliated with them. So I did a post about Cardiff about Ray Lilo on Sunday, and it was liked by the Cardiff official account within an hour.
Yeah.
So that kind of tells you, and it's little things like you know this map thing that Cardiff have been doing with their selling of how many tickets they've sold.
Yeah,
Cardiff have been doing that. Dragons have started doing it, and the Ospreys are doing it for their New Year's Day game. We're the only ones not doing it. The Scarlets are the only ones not doing it. For me, the social media side of the Scarlets really, really is lacking compared to the other regions. And we have seen that the players seem to be banned from socials, apart from Lousy and Fafita. None of the rest of them are either on there or posting. Even the younger guys.
A few likes is what it's about, and that's about it.
Yeah, and that is literally once in a blue moon. Whereas I know like the Ospreys guys have DMs like the club captain and things.
Yeah,
So
they're literally talking to players through DMs quite a bit.
Yeah.
Same with the Dragons, and I think this comes back to a culture. Sorry to interrupt you, yeah, but this comes back to what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. It's about a culture that is within the club. About I don't know if they're scared to come out and talk to people, or they just don't know, lack the confidence to come out and talk to people. But within the club, there is a culture that says don't talk to anyone, and it's wrong. It's not helping. Sorry, Hugh. Go on.
yeah, no, I wasn't really going to add anything on top of that. I mean, we know that I'm not a big fan of the Scarlets website.
Scarlets shit.
It's got. Sorry.
The
Oh yes,
Scarlets.
Scarlet shit. Yeah, but like I said, we're not saying anything here that this letter from Crease doesn't also
No.
say. That all these points are. And to Lee's point, I know Martin is involved with Crease, so Lee and I aren't. So Lee, you signed up now, haven't you?
Yeah, it took me a couple of goes, but yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
got there in the
I
end.
haven't. I'm not currently affiliated to Crease, and all these points, as exactly as Lee said, are things that we've been saying. And we've had no input on this letter, and we're saying the same things.
But you read social media and you talk to people, and this is what people are saying. The whole point of what we were trying to do for last season and this season was to connect the club with the supporters. You know, that's why we do this stuff about the community games, so that there's a reason for community people, community fans to listen, and then maybe they might stick around for the Scarlets bit, and there's a reason for the Scarlets fans to listen, and they might listen to the community bit, and they might kind of join the dots up, like, you know. We're not sitting here criticizing. It sounds like we're just sitting here slagging off the Scarlets, yeah. But if we didn't care about the Scarlets, we wouldn't say anything. We'd sit here and we'd talk about Hugh's cat that is stuffed and not real. But
Robotic.
do you know? Yeah, but do you know what I mean? If we didn't care about the Scarlets, we wouldn't be spending hours trying to, you know, talk to people and to do stuff. If we didn't care about the future of the Scarlets, we wouldn't be doing this stuff. So yeah, it sounds negative now, but do you know what? This is stuff that the club can sort.
If you can't be negative now, when can you be negative? You know, we came on here after we took 50 off Leinster away, and we all came on and said it wasn't so bad, and this young player looked good, and this player we like the look of, and things like that. So, you know, of course, you know, some people might think it's sour grapes because we lost, and it was a bad loss, and you know, everything looks shit when you lose. But you know, we're not going in on individuals here.
No.
We're talking about a bigger picture thing.
And after we beat Cardiff, we came on after the Cardiff game and we said, let's not get carried away with this because there are still issues inside the club that need to be resolved. Yeah. So even when we're winning, we're still saying there are issues there that need to be resolved. And it doesn't take a genius to work out what these issues are. Yeah. It doesn't take a genius to turn around and say, do you know what? If you don't talk to supporters, if you don't engage with supporters, then supporters are going to fill that void with their own thoughts. If you don't tell supporters what's going on, then supporters will fill that void, and they'll go, well, I think this and I think this. You think that as well. Well, if two of us think the same, then there must be some truth in that.
This is an endemic thing in Welsh rugby, because the WRU is exactly the same. Like the whole thing with the Barbarians game, and when there was that speculation about the West Country Derby being played in Cardiff, the WRU didn't communicate. And I spoke to a couple of journalists about this as well. And the WRU, rather than putting out there and being honest with people, just leave people to make up their own minds. And if you leave people to make up their own minds, they will start coming to the worst case assumptions. And that is what is going to happen with the Scarlets, unless people come out and engage with the fan base. I mean, we thought that was going on with Crease, but Crease appeared to be of the opinion that that's not what is going on. And I'm not there, so I can't say that that's wrong at all. But that's what we're saying, isn't it?
So you're being very quiet, Matt. It's not like you.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much I can say or can't say without but a lot of things are I can't say, like, I really want, like, you can see my facial expressions on some of these because there's something more that I know that I want to say really, and honestly it would twist the knife. It really would, but I'm not going to say it because, one, I don't think it'd be appropriate for me to say it for starters, and two, I'll be honest, I don't want anyone to think worse of us. I don't want the Scarlets to be thought of worse than what we already are. And as hard as it is to believe that we be thought of worse, if you know everything going behind the scenes, and I don't even know everything myself, it is worse.
Yeah. Well, the thing for me, is so I'm going to take 2 points out of there. Yeah. So one, squad management, that takes time. That takes time, and that takes money, and that takes personnel, and that takes stuff to change. Yeah. For me, and I am going to call it out. Okay. So, and this is just my personal opinion of one step on how we go forward. Okay. And people can take this however they want to take it. Okay. I think John Daniels has probably reached the end of his useful term. And if I was a Scarlet, I would be moving hell and high water to get Simon Easterby back into the club as a director of rugby. Yeah. We know that he's gone as far as he can go with Ireland. He will probably go on the British and Irish Lions tour, I would have thought. But if I was the Scarlets now, I would be doing everything I can to get Simon Easterby in as director of rugby. Yeah. And say to him, right, okay, how do we change this club? What do we do with the academy? How do we do the engagement? Simon Easterby wasn't an amazing coach, but he did pretty good. Every season we were one place higher. We went 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, and then he went, and then we won. Yeah. So, he knew how to slowly grow things, and he's done that with Ireland. And if anyone is going to come in and do it, it's going to be him. And he's the person that I think we need to bring in and start moving things around. Okay. But that takes time. So it takes time, it takes money, and it takes commitment. What doesn't take time, what doesn't take money, and what doesn't take effort is supporter engagement. That just takes desire and willingness. If somebody came out tomorrow and said, do you know what, we're going to hold a Zoom call with anybody and everybody in the Scarlet. If you want to be part of this Zoom call, put your name down. We can fit 150 people on the call. And when that 150 is done, we'll speak to the next 150 the day after or whatever. Yeah. And sit there and go that, we want to communicate with you as fans. We've got it wrong up till now. And what we want to do is we want to start a conversation, and we want to be a bit more open. So we will start to engage on social media. We will start to engage on Facebook. We will start to engage on Twitter. But it's going to take us a couple of weeks to change things around and put some people in place. So things are changing. Bear with us. Yeah. That costs nothing. That costs absolutely nothing to do. They could come out, they could do that tomorrow. You can do that on a free Zoom account. Yeah, just add the emails in. And all that takes is desire. And just that one bit would be enough to turn enough supporters around to actually change the feeling in the club. To have enough people go, do you know what? They've come out, they've started making changes. Let's give them a chance. Yeah. Because at the minute, it's just batter, 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 batter. And they can't do anything about it because they're not engaging with people. So one long term, one short term, you could change one of those tomorrow, and by the other side of Christmas, regardless of what the results will be over Christmas, you could change that attitude between now and the new year, and it would make a difference. Oh, glad I got that off my chest.
Is that it all done?
The contrast I would make, the comparison I would make is that look at Cardiff. Cardiff have won 2 games this season as well. They've been battered in Europe as well. They've lost to us twice. That's how bad they are. And their attendance, and this is a fact, has increased every game this season, and it's probably going to be a sellout on Boxing Day. Yep. And that's them having lost how many games in a row now? They beat the Stormers, so they're on a 3-game losing streak. And that's partially what the most upsetting thing about the Black Line result is. If we'd have put 30 on them, then, and the Ospreys obviously had their result, then people would have gone, I'll turn up for this, because I reckon we can get a bit of revenge on the Ospreys for the dusting that they gave us a couple of weeks ago. But people aren't going to have that feeling now. So the club is relying on people turning up because that's what fans do.
It's an Ospreys game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that we need to talk about, or we want to talk? What I don't want to do, we're going to be away for a couple of weeks, so I don't want to get to tomorrow and go, what I should have said was. Yeah. Is there anything
just add it, edited.
It would be about 4.5 hours long.
Yeah. No, I think we've covered it all. Like I said, everything that we've been saying and thinking is in the crease letter, and I don't think there's anything in there that we particularly disagree with. Not for me. Like the point about Finethley and things like, and the marketing as well for me is something that we need to improve. And look, I can believe if someone from the Scarlets came out and said to me and said, look, you do realise that the social media manager is also the kit man, and we can't afford a particular social media manager, because I know that is a decision that the regions are having to make at the moment, is having to make that kind of choice. But I would say that it's something that it's worth spending a bit of money on, because that's how your fans engage with you. The last point I want to make is slightly on a different point. This whole thing, whenever any of the regions get battered at the moment, all the social media is full of WRU budget cuts, and that just gets said all the time. And it's become a bit of a hooker throws a not straight line out, bloody budget cuts. Like 30 cap international centre drops a ball, like, bloody WRU budget cuts. Scrum gets absolutely dismantled, bloody WRU budget cuts. We've just signed a new tight heads rather. Next time, Sale ring up and say, hey, Scarlets, we've got a tight head for you. Do you fancy him? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, even more shame on me, apparently. No more to third choice Sale tight heads, please. I've been mean to an individual there, haven't I?
Well, people need to stand up and take accountability. So just going to back it up with our 3-word thoughts after the game on Friday. I think it was Saturday when I actually sent it out. But so I'm not going to name names and all that kind of stuff. But here we go.
Aww.
So things are getting worse, just not good. Things aren't looking good. Not proper rugby. Please, God, help.
Things aren't looking good is forward.
I think that might have been me putting it in there. Chase the kick. Shocking, lacking skill set. Not good enough. Absolute dog shit. Forwards win matches. And then someone's applied or not. Passionless, pathetic ineptitude. They were shit. A new load. No insults needed. Time to disband. Mass change needed. Lower than low. Oops, what happened? Always a Scarlet. Awful, awful, awful. And the thing is with that, right? So we do this pretty much most weeks.
Whoa. The best one of the lot was missing from there, but
what was that? What?
Drovers would have won.
What?
Yeah, Drovers would have won.
Why did that not come up? Was that on Twitter? Was that on Twitter? Was that on Twitter though?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just reading the Facebook one. I'm reading the Facebook one. My point was going to be this, yeah? But every single message we had was negative on Friday. And usually, when we win, there's usually 2 or 3 negative ones, even when we win. And when we lose, there's usually 5 or 6 positive ones, and then the rest are like, we should have done better, all this kind of stuff. Every single one of them was negative. Supporters have had enough. Yeah. If we know that the Scarlets listen to this podcast, we know that they follow our Twitter feed, we know that they've got enough time to go there and to do stuff. Yeah. So if they're still listening,
they follow our personal accounts on other forums.
Yeah, exactly. You've got all that time to try and catch us out and try and stop us from doing stuff. Do you know what? Spend a bit of time, pick up the phone. You've got my number. You've got my number. You've got Martin's number. You've got Hugh's number. Pick up the phone and have a conversation with us and get somebody on the podcast that can put the Scarlet side of things and say, do you know what? Hey, this is what's happening. Because at the minute, nothing's happening and it's really, really frustrating. Yeah, and I'm not saying, even if it's not us. So if you don't want to come on our podcast, then go somewhere, start your own podcast, start the Scarlets official podcast. It's dead simple. I'll give you some tips on how to do it. I will give you the training course on how to start your own podcast. Yeah, Hugh can give you the training course on how to do it. Martin's been around long enough. Martin could probably show you how to start your own podcast. Yeah. But do you know what I mean? This isn't difficult stuff. If the Scarlets wanted to, they could have their own players there. They could be talking to people every week. It's
like the Armageddon thing. How do you learn how to be a miner? Point the drill at the ground and turn it on. How to be a podcaster? Point the camera at yourself and turn it on.
Start talking. Unless you're Martin, in which case you've got to find a signal first and a phone that works.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's.
So just
go on.
I'm wondering whether it's even worth just talking about the actual issues with the team. One of the points on the Crease letter was talking about squad management and things, and just something that's been bugged me the last few weeks is when we announced the selected team, we put out the injury list, and the Scarlets are currently padding out that injury list with the names of academy players. So there's like Isaac Young on there, and Ewan Shenton I think is on there as well. Might be wrong.
Yeah.
These are academy boys. Like I can accept Sam Costello and Wyn Jones and Johnny McNichol being on there because they probably would have been picked if they'd have been fit. But these academy boys weren't going to be picked. So why are they on the list?
Shenton would have been. Shenton would have 100% been in that 23. And Isaac Young has been in a few 23s for us this season, admittedly in South Africa. But, everyone, unfortunately, everyone on that injury list is actually considered part of our senior squad, which just sets
no, those two aren't. They're not. They're not on the senior squad. No, well, on the Scarlets website, they're not.
Oh, the website's shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know that. Yeah. Everyone above the age of 18, if they're not in uni somewhere else, they're training full time with the Scarlets.
Yeah. And they're classed as part of the transition. So
well,
they're in.
Samson Lee was put out as unavailable for selection due to injury 12 hours before his retirement was announced.
Well, the shame with Samson is that because he's retiring when he is we can't really sit there and talk about him in glowing terms and all of that because it all gets mixed up in all this other stuff. Samson Lee's been a fantastic player in the past. I didn't realize he was only 31. That's really young. He as a prop.
For a prop,
he's still got 4 or 5 decent seasons left in. Yeah,
he burst onto the scene really young for a prop.
Yeah, the year I think it was the same season he made his Scarlets debut. He made his Wales debut.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. He's a strong boy.
It was a couple of years after Adam Jones stopped getting picked, because it was literally just like, oh, we've got the new Adam Jones. That's how it came about.
So my favourite story about Samson Lee. So if you've just listened to the Rap podcast, then you will have heard this because I literally just told the same story on there. So my favourite Samson Lee story, right, is
Is it about his keyboard profile? Because I can talk about that all day long.
No, you can talk about that in a minute. So when he was coming through academy and up to senior, and he was getting pushed into senior squad, and they were going, "This boy's got something. This boy's got something." And I said, "He's a little rough around the edges. He needs media training." So they gave him basically media training was, "Don't say this, don't say this. If you get asked about the game, then you compliment the opposition. You don't say anything. You say, don't swear. Whatever you do, Samson, don't swear. Because it might go out live on radio or live on TV or whatever. But thought my opposite number did really well. I thought the boys around me did fantastically. Really enjoyed the game. Blah 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 blah. Are we all good? Yeah, fantastic. Right. So second or third game in, and he had like a man of the match awards." Shove a microphone in his face, and they went, "Samson, well, fantastic game today. How did it go?" "Oh, it's fucking amazing. It was fucking brilliant." So that's an allegedly thing. That's what I got told by one of the boys inside the Scarlets, and they're like, "Oh, don't put that out. Don't put that out." But he is, he's rough from the edges, but he's heart and soul. He loves his rugby, and yeah, and it's gutting that he is having to retire. And Achilles is, of all the places for a prop to injure. Yeah. But you know yourself, Matt, how much pressure goes through that part of the body when you're in a scrum. So I wouldn't be surprised as well if Kenner wins has to make a similar decision, because a neck injury, a back injury, and you're a hooker, and it's not like he's a non-abrasive hooker. He's a fully committed hooker.
They call him Cannonball for a reason.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Ken Owens having to make the same decision in the near future. What I don't want to see is what Samson Lee's had to do, which was sit on the sidelines for 2.5 seasons. With people going, "Well, where's Samson? Where's Samson?" Oh, he's played one game for Llandudno and then he's injured. He's played one game for Carmarthen Quins and now he's injured again. So yeah, I wish him all the best. I wish him a fine future in whatever he's doing after, but I don't think it'll be the last. And that goes back to squad management and people like John Fox Davis, Scott Williams, Ken. That's a lot of money tied up in those 3 players right there that could be spent elsewhere. That's the truth of the matter. Anyway, let's try, before we talk about, let's have a bit of a break from rugby for a second. We'll talk about the Ospreys game in a minute. So let's talk about the Christmas quiz. We have got a Christmas quiz. Not only have we got a Scarlets Christmas quiz on our YouTube channel, we've got the Rap Christmas quiz, which is like Welsh rugby. And then we've got the URC Christmas quiz, which is what it says, everything to do with the URC. And then we've got an international rugby Christmas quiz, which is World Cup and Six Nations and European Cup. So there's a whole load of stuff to keep you busy over Christmas on our YouTube channel. Please do like and subscribe. There's a reason why I keep saying please subscribe to our YouTube page, because YouTube are getting paid money for people to advertise. So whether or not YouTube pass that money on or not is irrelevant. Yeah. And until you get 500 followers, 500 subscribers, you don't get any cash. And I'm like, that's not fair. Nobody told me that before. Bastards. So yeah, please subscribe and tell your granny and your nanny and anyone that you can to subscribe.
Make 500 new emails and 500 new YouTube subscribes.
Yeah, but
even if you disagree vehemently with everything that we say and you want to leave us paragraphs, if you want to leave a short or even a long essay of all the reasons why you don't like our faces, do that in the YouTube comments, because that really, really boosts the engagement and it tells YouTube that people are watching the content.
I mean, I can understand if they do that for you or Lee, but you know, come on.
Yeah, I've had that many a time. That was just my mother.
Yeah,
So,
that's the other thing about being in Welsh rugby social media. If you put yourself out there, you get dogs abuse.
oh, you do, don't
Like,
you?
and I know it's like the players get it 10 times worse than any other people on Twitter or things. Like, I like the other day, I went and I specifically checked, have I even said anything mean or bad about anybody? And no, but I'd still got half a dozen abusive replies.
You put that thing out about the Ospreys the other day,
Oh,
as in how many who the Ospreys have played and stuff. And somebody went, "What the hell is this, Lee? What's going on with this?" I said, "Well, which part of that is not a fact?" That's not the point. I said, so every bit of this is true. Yes. However what? This is all true. They said this is who the Scarlets have played. Yeah. This is who the Ospreys have played. Yeah. Well, you can't describe it like that. Why? We're just stating facts. So
I'm sorry for the Scarlets podcast page winding up the Ospreys
yeah.
podcast page. I'm sorry, that's not what it's about, apparently. We're allowed to go onto a pitch and knock 7 shades of you know what out of each other for 80 minutes, but we're not allowed to have a little bit of
fun at each other's expense.
The Ospreys fans, just do it back. Just do it back. That's allowed.
But Ospreys fans are really sensitive. Or it's like calling a Cardiff fan a Cardiff
I'm
Blue.
not saying nothing.
Ooh, yeah, but call a Cardiff fan a Cardiff Blue. Oh my lord! Oh, they do not like that at all.
Why don't they like it though? Because all their age grade rugby is still covered as the Blues.
I know. Even though the Scarlets, the Cardiff fan pages are still Cardiff Blues. Like ours is still Scarlets Pens because that's how we started out as the Pembrokeshire Scarlets and all that kind of stuff. So, and I've just never updated it because I can't be asked, to be honest.
Lazy.
But lazy is what it is, and disrespectful.
Oh yeah.
But they're still out there as the Cardiff Blues fan club.
I don't, because I particularly haven't said anything even remotely negative about Cardiff, and their fans are the ones who abuse me the most. Apart from Harley.
I think they fancy you. I think somebody inside Cardiff has got a little bit of a sweet spot for that cap, and they go, and he looks like a nice one. Anyway, right, let's so we do the quizzes. We've got loads of quizzes there. Share them with your mates, share them with your pals. They're just a bit of fun. They're just a little something to get you through Christmas and see who's the most rugby knowledgeable person in your family. They're all on our YouTube channel. If you want to do them 2, 3, 4 times, by all means, carry on. That's fine by me.
If you've had your Christmas meal and you're all sat around and you're a rugby mad family, which we know there's loads of people are, it's 15 minutes long, and that includes telling you what the answers are.
Yeah.
The ones that I don't know about yours, Lee, but the ones that I read very clearly and loudly, and I say all the questions twice. For the non-paying attention ones, for the arguers and for the hard of hearing in your family, they are catered for in the wrap Christmas quizzes.
And I've cut the bit out where my dog kept barking, and halfway through an answer I had to shout at my dog to stop her barking. So I went back, I re-recorded that one, so that won't be in there.
But in the Scarlets one, you can see my cat, who is very real.
My cat was on the show.
It's remote control, mate. It's one of those remote control cats.
You can see my cat attack the Christmas tree behind me. Yes, there's a Christmas tree behind me because it's a Christmas quiz.
Yeah.
And he attacks it.
I couldn't see it myself, mate. I couldn't see it. I looked back at the video, Mark. I couldn't see it. I think it's just remote control. It's you with, like in Home Alone, where he's got all the strings pulling to make so it look like somebody's dancing in the shower and stuff. It's one of them. I think Hugh's cats.
That's Home Alone 2, mate.
Come on. I watched it the other night, but your Christmas films a bit too well, mate.
Well, it's like I can say that exact same line to you.
Yeah, I knew my Christmas films rather. Right, let's do Ospreys. Let's do the Ospreys game. Where is the cat, by the way, Hugh?
The cat?
Yeah.
I don't know. He might be in the other room. Hang on. I can still hear you. I'm still here, for the ladies and gentlemen. I'm still here.
Okay, you go find the cat and let's see if the cat is actually real or is it a stuffed remote control one?
No, he's downstairs. He's been on the
there's
podcast
convenient.
multiple times.
There's convenient.
I'm not picking him up and dragging him up here just for you. He's been on the podcast multiple times.
He's your pet. That's what he's for.
Right.
With his other human.
His other human. Let's talk Ospreys and do some predictions before we finish up. What do we think about the Ospreys game? Martin,
I think we're going to have a massive turnaround. I think that all the criticism, all the shit that's been flung their way, it's actually going to click in some of their brains. Oh, we're actually meant to be playing rugby. So I'm hoping to see a lot more effort from the boys. I mean, there's no way they can escape the public hammering that they've had off everyone. And, it's not meaning to be personal. It's just how everyone's feeling. And I'm hoping that's enough to, light the fire under some of these boys' arses. Just because if you're not getting wound up for a normal game of rugby, then, you shouldn't be a professional. Simple as.
Yeah. So after they've had an open and honest review in the Monday meeting and they've had a few home truths for the 6th time this year.
Yeah.
6th time this week. No, that is one thing I can always say about Peel. He's a very, very honest person. What's that?
It's a thumb up. Come on. Hugh keeps getting a thumb, and we can't work out why. A magic thumb appears on Hugh's head.
Turn your head again.
Yeah, no, I think it's the bit where you're doing this with your hands, and it kind of it makes it into a thumbs up.
That was awesome. I like that. That's the first time I've seen it.
I don't know how I do it. I don't know. I can't do it on purpose.
It just happens every now and again.
How do I do my little thought bubble?
Anyway, focus now, Mart. Ospreys again.
What?
Focus, Ospreys.
Yeah, no, literally, I'm hoping for a massive turnaround. If we don't see that, then it just means that the problems are even more deep-rooted than we could have ever imagined. So we've got to see something. I mean, obviously going to win. That's all we ever do is win, That's the Scarlets view. But no, I'm expecting that everyone will turn around and actually turn up for work on Monday and realise, oh Christ, we do actually have to work. I know I've already said that in a few different phrases now, but just is what it is. See performance, see forwards that actually work, and see backs that actually have a plan, and maybe a few strike plays. I wouldn't mind that.
That would be good. I'd like that. A move that was pre-planned and that we executed.
It's setting the bar really, really low, isn't it?
There was this move that Black Lion did. You wouldn't have seen it, Lee, because it was in the second half.
Yeah.
So they were in R22 and they were plugging away. They weren't really getting anywhere. And then the 10 called a move, and 3 of them went around the corner. Right, for the audio listeners, I'm going like that with my hand. So they came around the corner, 3 of them. They came around the corner, 3 of them. They drew a man each, and then the guy on the end put a grubber through, and it went out on our 5-metre line, and we had a defensive line out on our own 5-metre. And I was like, Jesus Christ, if we'd have done that, it would have been the most organised thing we'd have done on a rugby pitch all year.
Okay, so I think I'm going to regret this. Hugh, give me your assessment for the Ospreys game. Then give me your thoughts for the Ospreys game.
The saving grace is that Welsh derbies make no sense, and the wrong team always wins. So my question to you is: are we the wrong team?
Let's hope so.
We'll win.
With that analogy, I hope so.
Yeah. What is the thing that the Ospreys are good at? Set piece. So that's our biggest weakness. So that's the problem. If it's raining, God help us. If it's not, Scarlets by 40.
So ball in play. That's all you want. Ball in play. 79 minutes and 59 seconds. Ball in play.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I would like to happen.
Okay. So what was your prediction that you slipped in at the end there?
Scarlets by 40.
Scarlets by 40. Right. Okay. Mart, you give us a quick prediction on that then, mate.
Yeah. Let's go Scarlets by 20. She turned it out. She just wanted to appear on the pod. That's what it was.
Hello.
Right, Scarlets by 20. Let's go for it.
Scarlets by 20. So, yeah, I'm going to kind of go, it's hard. You know, realistically, how do you forecast anything other than an absolute trouncing?
For the Ospreys.
No, I don't see where it's going to come. I haven't
come
seen.
on, Lee.
Yeah, I know. I've just had to do this on the Rap podcast and just kind of, fight off 3 of them with go away. No, Scarlets. And now
the 3 Musketeers are no match for Lee G.
Well, now I'm amongst friends. I feel I can relax and go, oh, boys, it's not going to be great.
Grit your teeth and predict a Scarlets victory.
Okay. I predicted Scarlets by 1 on the Rap podcast. I'm going to stick with
that. Come on.
Where's the faith? Oh.
I think that's being optimistically faithful, mate. So, anyway. Right. Before we finish tonight.
No. You've had your prediction for the Rap, warning prediction for this one.
Yeah.
Gotta be different.
No, Scarlets by 1. I think we'll win.
They can't win 1-0, but it doesn't work that way.
Liquid scrape it. 10-9. 6-5. There we go. 6-5 or 7-6 to the Scarlets.
First 7-6.
Yeah, 7-6. So, yeah. So, I just wanted to finish with a little bit of a Christmas message to everyone. To
To you all.
No, shut up, the pair of you. Trying to be serious here for a second.
Only serious, okay.
So, as most of you know, I went through some serious stuff halfway through the year, and everything got a little bit ropey and all of that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to kind of you boys, to Big M, to Hugh, for being part of my rehab, to bringing me back to normality, to keeping my feet on the ground, and to kind of giving me purpose to keep doing this. It would have been really easy to use it as an excuse and to go, oh, I've had enough, let's just jack it there and all of that kind of stuff. So to go on and to keep growing the pod the way we have, and to take it to where we have has been fantastic. And never met you two before. Mark, I've only met you once. You have never met you other than over Zoom, so to class you two as friends is quite an achievement. So I just want to say a big thank you to you guys, and to all our listeners for sticking with us and for being there and all of that kind of stuff. Please do listen to the rest of my Christmas message on Rap, because there is more stuff on there about the rugby family, what it means to people, what it means to me. The last 6 months has really shown me what the rugby family can do and what the rugby family means. So please do go and have a listen to that. That would mean a lot to me. And in the meantime, I would just like to say a very Merry Christmas to you two and to all our listeners. I hope you have a happy and prosperous Christmas, a fantastic new year, do lots of exciting things and be amazing. And on that note, gentlemen, I shall bid you farewell for this year. We shall catch up again in 2024. Enjoy your rugby. Have a good time. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Well done. And just a reminder for all those who are listening, Lee won't give us the login details. That's why he's still here.
Happy Christmas, everyone. Ta-da.
Merry Christmas.